Let's get the read from presidential historian Doug Wead. It's no surprise to me, Doug, that obviously Bernie Sanders and some of these other prominent Democrats, and Chuck Schumer and all, are not going to back Brett Cavanaugh. That goes without saying. Having said that, though, those in states where Donald Trump won big and they're up for re-election, that could be a different matter. I'm thinking about Joe Donnelly in Indiana and Heidi Heitkamp in North Dakota, Joe Manchin in West Virginia. It might not be so universal. What do you think?
Yeah, I think the big problem for the Democrats and the reaction to all of this, again, is religion. And several of your guests have brought it up. But in the writing of Game of Thorns, Bill Clinton urged Hillary to go to those Catholic states, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Wisconsin, Michigan. They finally let him go. He urged it so strongly. He tried to get her to go to Notre Dame University for St. Patrick's Day. She wouldn't do it. And the hostility towards the Catholic religion, it makes no
I don't understand that, Doug,
sense.
because I don't say, and they say, oh, he's a Protestant, oh, he's Jewish, or oh, he's not. I don't see that. But this is the same party that rallied around a Catholic senator who was getting, picked apart for being, a slave to Catholicism, or that he would take orders from the Pope. They rallied around him and said, no, he's a candidate for president, not a Catholic candidate for president. But it's very different now.
And we don't hear we hear discussion about the Russians breaking into the DNC and those Hillary Clinton emails and her campaign emails. We don't hear any discussion of what was in them because it's so embarrassing. It's hard to talk about it out loud. But here was Podesta and the campaign talking about, after winning the election, co-opting the Catholic Church, the Catholic Spring, they called it, introducing doctrines, trying to influence the church. This is really sad. We had up to the 1930s, we had an anti-Catholic strain in American society, actually elected know-nothings to Congress who were essentially anti-Catholic. There were 113 Protestant justices on the Supreme Court, finally a Catholic seat, that was Brennan, and then only when Scalia came on were there 2 Catholics. So today it's a wonderful thing.
But I guess what they're saying is, if you're Catholic, you're synonymous with being pro-life and inflexible when it comes to Roe v. Wade, and whether you get into that or not. I mean, that's what they're going to look for in these hearings once they ensue with Judge Kavanaugh. Now, you've taught me that what's become the rule of thumb here is that no candidate answers any question. They're vague about, I can't answer that because it'll be a different set of facts when this issue comes up. So we're not going to get specific answers on that from Judge Kavanaugh in a hearing, right? So what at best can we learn?
That's right. But of course, they'll oppose him anyway. And they're going to find, because of the volume, as other guests have said, of decisions he's made and opinions he's written, they're going to find some things here. So it's going to be very contentious. But the religion thing does not work. It's not politically sound for the Democrats to do this. And personally, I'd like to see them back off of that. So did Bill Clinton. So did Barack Obama urge Hillary during the campaign. I think that's a mistake. And I wouldn't be surprised if Trump's baiting them a little bit on this issue because it works for him. It shouldn't matter. The Constitution itself says there's no religious test for office, so it shouldn't matter. But it was clear by his speech tonight, as Diane Feinstein would say, that his dogma spoke loudly within him.
Well, no, I think you're right about that. And the battle has just begun. Doug Wead, thank you very, very much. By the way, as Doug was speaking, Sarah Sanders over the